Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the Flyers of Framingham High School and the Brookline High Warriors. This is the last game of the regular season. One last day to decide where people stand in the final standings. And a little interesting today, because even though this game is being played in Brookline, the Warriors are actually going to be the visiting team on the scoreboard today. See, what happened was way back on April 6th when these two teams were supposed to play in Framingham, Framingham's field was basically underwater that day. And so they ended up switching the location of the game to Brookline. They played that game at Warren Field. Some of you might remember it was a thrilling game, ended in a walk-off hit by freshman Hugh Bollinger to give Brookline a 5-4 win, start them on what would become a 7-game winning streak. And then after that, what happened was, well, they were still scheduled to play today, but Brookline had lined up to use this nice field here at Parsons, and they were like, this is a really nice field. We'd hate to lose the opportunity to play here. Would you guys be okay playing at this nice college field? And Framingham was like, okay. And so here we are. And so the team that had to travel to get here is actually going to be the home team on the scoreboard. They'll bat in the bottom half of the inning and everything. And Brookline will be the visitors on the scoreboard. I'm just typing in the rosters right now for the two teams. Remember, folks, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. The regular season may be coming to a close for this spring season, but the playoffs are on the horizon for a number of Brookline teams. So be sure to stay tuned to see what playoff games I will have on the docket. Subscribing to the channel can help with that. And as always, I encourage audience participation in the live chat. Whatever it is you want to say, whether it's something as simple as saying go Brookline or go Framingham, or something as important as, hey, your mic's not working, we can't hear you. You know, anything anything at all that you'd like to say, I encourage audience participation. It is a hot day out here in Brookline. Temperatures in the high 80s. Bright and sunny. Not a lot of cloud cover, which is part of why I'm shooting on the third base side. Those of you who have seen me cover other games at Parsons in the past, you might be going, hey, wait a second, why is he covering from the third base side? Well, the reason for that, oops, just briefly dropped a few frames. Uh-oh, what just happened? Oh no, come on now. Wi-Fi just went on the fritz on me. I'm hoping it fixes itself because it was doing just fine a second ago. And then just randomly started cutting out. Gee, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to try, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try, if it doesn't fix itself in a second, I'm going to try starting and stopping the stream. Oh, for a second it looked like it had it back. Oh, we're off to a great start. One second, folks. I'm going to try a little stop-start strategy here. Oh, wait. Are we back? Nope. One second. Okay. Looks like things are running smooth again. Hoping that was just a weird thing. Don't know what that was about. I had clicked to put it in my phone in sleep mode, but that shouldn't have affected anything. I had put an umbrella over my head to try and block a little bit from the sun. I don't know. Sometimes Wi-Fi just be that way. You know, here's hoping to get enough shade coverage to keep my equipment from overheating here on this hot, sunny day. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the two teams coming in. Brookline enters this contest with a 10-9 record. The most recent power rankings that came out yesterday morning had Brookline ranked 33rd in Division 1. So even if they lose today and stay outside the top 32, they will still qualify for a playoff spot. They will be in the play-in round against some of the bottom teams of the top 32. So they will still get to the playoffs. In the meantime, Framingham coming into this game with a 9-10 overall record and ranked 29th in the power rankings. So one game difference between these two teams in terms of win-loss. And the team with fewer wins higher in the power rankings due to a better strength of schedule. But a game like this could make a big difference, as if Framingham loses this, they will finish with a below 500 record. One loss shouldn't drop them more than 3 spots. But if they were to drop more than 3 spots and after losing this game, if they lose this game, then that would cost them a spot in the playoffs. If they win today, they are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, as they will finish with a 500 record. So will Brookline. So we'll see how this one plays out. You can see Framingham getting the first round of warm-ups. We're probably going to start a little later than our scheduled start time of 4 p.m. You know, that's always a tight start time to try and match. So yeah, it looks like Framingham will warm up first, then Brookline will warm up, and then Framingham will get the pre-inning warm-ups because they will be on defense in the bottom of the first. As I said before, kind of an interesting arrangement where Brookline is actually going to be the visiting team, even though this game is being played in Brookline. So as Framingham wraps up their warm-ups, let's take a look at the roster for the Framingham High Flyers or the starting lineup for them coming into today. Leading off for Framingham and also starting on the mound for the Flyers today, number 1, Jeremy Oren. Batting second for the Flyers, the third baseman, number 11, Robbie White. Batting third, the shortstop, number 6, Jace Coleman. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 9, Lucas Messer. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 7, Jackson Donato. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 10, J.J. Blanchard. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 3, Ian Zaino. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 5, Tyler King. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 2, Anthony Moretti. And not in the batting order, but just playing the field in the starting lineup, the left fielder, number 4, Nathan Levy. Head coach of the Framingham High baseball team is Matt Milano. So that's the roster for Framingham coming in. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visitors on the scoreboard here today, the Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting second, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Batting third, the shortstop, number 9, Elias Brendel. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 22, Charlie Engelman. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 18, Ben Rosenblatt. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 15, Owen Hoffman. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. Those are our two rosters coming in to today, our two starting lineups at least. And we got our first note in the live chat from one of our baseball grandmas, Barbara Jo Metzger. Go Brookline Warriors, from Grandma in Buffalo, New York, driving to Boston next Friday. Oh, well, that's wonderful, Barbara. Hope the drive isn't too rough. I know it's a bit of a length from upstate New York, or I guess in the case of Buffalo, more like Western New York. But still, no, it's a bit of a drive. Hope it's not too tough, and hope you enjoy getting to see the city. So Brookline against Framingham, Warriors versus Flyers from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. For this regular season finale, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball. Diving catch is made by Harrison Siegel. And Engelman lifts one high and deep to left. Levine going back. It's over the wall! This pitch hard hit right at Sawada. Double play. They did it! Brookline wins! We are going to the playoffs! Brookline just finishing their warm-ups here. And I mentioned how this game could have some large playoff implications. If Brookline were to win this game, and if that were to bump up their spot in the power rankings, then Brookline could very well end up hosting a playoff game in the preliminary round. The rules of the playoffs for the MIAA is that every team in the top 32 of the power rankings makes it to the state tournament, and then every team below the top 32 that finishes with a record 500 or better also makes the tournament, but will play in basically the play-in round, also known as the preliminary round. And the way that'll work is like, the highest ranked team that had a 500 better record will be given the 33rd seed in the tourney, and they'll face the 32nd seed to determine who will go on to face the number 1 seed in the round of 32. And that'll go on, so on and so forth. 31 will play 34, 30 will play 35, and so on. It just kind of depends on how many teams below the top 32 finish with a 500 or better record. As of right now, taking a quick glance at the current power rankings, Brookline is the highest ranked team with a 500 or better record at 33rd in the power rankings. They're certainly hoping they can move at least one spot up and earn themselves a home playoff game. But if the season were to end right now, Brookline would make it as the 33rd seed. Next would be Arlington, which currently has a record of 8-8. I don't know if they still got a game to play, but they're kind of up in the air. D-Man RVT has an 11-2 record. Newton North has an 8-9 record, and they've got 2 games left to play, so they could make it in. Lowell is currently standing at 10-11, which is a lot of games. And I don't know if they have one more to potentially get a 500 record. Belmont standing at 10-8. Cambridge Ringe and Latin School at 11-6. And Malden at 11-5. And Revere is currently 8-8. So there's a number of teams that have the potential to make it in with the 500 or better record qualification, which could lead to a large preliminary round in the baseball state tournament this year. And like I said, Brookline certainly excuse me, pollen. Brookline certainly wants to win this one, see if they can move even one spot up in the power rankings, because if they move into the top 32, they will host a playoff game in the preliminary round, and they'll have one more game to be played in Brookline. If they do not move up in the power rankings when all is said and done, if things were to end right now, they would be visiting the number 32 ranked team for the preliminary round as the visitors. Right now, the number 32 team is Walpole, which is a team that Brookline did lose to on the road earlier this season, all the way back in their second regular season game. Ironically, the game right before they played Framingham, and Brookline ended up losing to Waltham via the mercy rule 10-0 in that game. But, that was a long time ago. 2 very different teams now than they were at that point in the season. And as evidence of that, Brookline suffered a worse loss to Wellesley in their first matchup, 16-0, and yet it was Wellesley that Brookline defeated to clinch their spot in the postseason 5-4 last Wednesday. We got a few more folks in the live chat. The Grandma Squad in the live chat. Mary Walker saying, "Go Brookline" from Grandma in Groton, New York. And Peter and Diane Barry saying, "Grandma from Florida is on board. Go Brookline." And then we got a grandpa in here. Glenn Esch tuning in from Goshen, Indiana. Sasho's grandpa. I love it. Thank you all so much for tuning in, as always. Love seeing you guys get involved in the live chat, showing your support. So we're just getting ready to get this underway. The head coach is meeting with the officials at home plate. A very interesting roster for Brookline today. Of note are the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Felix Hom, who was the team's starting shortstop for the first half of the season, then hit a bad hitting slump and kind of was moved to the bench. Coming out off the bench from time to time. He's had some big contributions off the bench as well, particularly his game playing catcher against Wellesley. But now playing third base, I believe, for the first time this season. Be interesting to see what he does. And then both Rosenblatt brothers in the starting lineup today, Adam and Ben. Adam at first base, Ben in left field. Both guys have mostly been operating as backups and platoon players throughout the season. But Adam has shown a great amount of promise as a first baseman and as an on-base guy. And I think what's kind of nice is that depending on how the playoff rosters shake out, this could be the last baseball game that Adam and Ben Rosenblatt play together, for their high school baseball careers. And I think that the fact that they get that chance for one last game together and they get it batting back-to-back, I think that's kind of sweet. I don't know. You guys know me. I'm an old softy. I'm sentimental as anything, and I can't help getting romantic about baseball. So might just be me. But still, I think it's sweet. The San Diego Bollingers have checked in. Thank you, Sharon Bollinger. As she says, "Go Warriors." Also, Cheryl, I did see the nice note you sent me via my website. Thank you so much. I didn't get a chance to send you an email back, but it was very sweet. Thank you very much. So here we go. Jeremy Oren on the mound to start for Framingham as Brookline will bat in the top of the first. Leading off for the Warriors, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch misses low and in, ball 1. Sawada's season stats, as always, you can see on the bottom center of your screen. As that one hits the zone for strike 1. Sawada with a batting average of .232, an on-base percentage of .419, a slugging percentage of .286, 6 steals, 13 runs scored, and 4 RBI. As he makes contact here, grounder over to short, fielded cleanly, thrown to first in time for out number 1. Yeah, one of the things that's interesting about Parsons is that it is a turf field, which means that ground balls on the infield are far less likely to take a weird hop that throws off an infielder and causes a fielding error. Makes it a lot easier to make those plays. That pitch going to miss, low and away, ball one. At the plate for Brookline now is the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. And he hits a hard grounder foul up the third base line. That'll be strike one. Siegel had a highly productive day on Monday in his senior day game against Newton North. I think he finished 2 for 3 with a walk, a double, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI, and I think a stolen base as well, as that one comes in outside for ball 2. And as you can see, he's been a highly productive member of this team throughout the season, leading the team in a lot of statistical categories as he fouls that one off for strike 2. A reminder, when reading my stat graphics on the bottom center of your screen, any stat that has 1 asterisk next to it means that that player leads the team in that category. Anything with 2 asterisks next to it means they're tied for the team lead. As Siegel fouls that one off, stays alive at 2-2. And he's a little out in front of that one and fouls it off again. Still 2-2, the count to Harrison Siegel with 1 out here on the top of the first. Swing and a miss. Chased that one high, and Siegel goes down on strikes. Now with 2 down and the base is empty, up comes the shortstop, number 9, Elias Brendel. First pitch, he golfs it high into shallow left, shortstop back, and under it, gets the can of corn for out number 3. So Brookline goes down in order. And the top of the first, looks like we might have a bit of a strange angle here. Gonna see if I can fix that a little bit, because when I was turning it towards left field, that didn't look right. A bit of a, excuse me, a lot of stuff falling off the trees today, and I gotta stay near the trees for the shade in hopes that my equipment doesn't overheat. That looks better. That looks much better. Okay, we get ready for the bottom of the first now. On the mound, starting for Brookline today, is number 15, Owen Hoffman. Hoffman, so far this season, he's made 7 previous pitching appearances, 5 of them starts. He's got a 2-3 win-loss record through 28 innings pitched. He's got a 3.00 ERA, a 1.43 whip, and 21 strikeouts. He'll be facing the top of Framingham's order, Oren, White, and Coleman. Now, Hoffman was not the pitcher last time against Framingham. The starting pitcher that day was Elias Brendel, who is, as that accounted for his only pitching start of the year, as he's mostly been their top guy out of the bullpen throughout the season. But in that game, after Brendel started, he was relieved by Hugh Bollinger for what is so far his only pitching appearance of his freshman season, as he pitched 4 shutout innings of relief against Framingham, allowing Brookline to come back and win that game. At the plate for the Flyers, the pitcher, number 1, Jeremy Oren, as he swings and misses at strike 1 there. Last time against Brookline, Oren went 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 RBI. As that one comes in high for ball 1. That one hits the zone, strike 2. That one skips in the turf, ball 2. This one rocketed out to right center. And that's going to drop in for a leadoff single. Good coverage out in center field by Harrison Siegel. Make sure that didn't go through the gap for extra bases, but Oren will be on first with the game's first hit. Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Robbie White. White last time against Brookline, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored, as Hoffman nonchalantly throws back to first to try and keep Oren honest over at first base. He is still taking a sizable lead off of first. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. Some of the most interesting strategic choices happen when runners are on the bases in this, mental chess match concerning the potential of runner stealing. That one's going to miss high, ball 1. You'll see pitchers throw more high pitches so that the catcher has an easier time getting up to throw down to second. You'll see pitchers engage in these awkward pauses after getting set and not throwing the pitch to throw them off. And then sometimes you'll see a throw down to first like that, and that was very close, actually. It's a good throw by Melton. Might have been just a little too low, as Rosenblatt's glove kind of hit the ground and slowed his tagging motion a bit. Another throw back to first, and Oren gets back again. Oh, checks his swing there, and the pitch gets away, and Oren is going to take second on the wild pitch. Well, the runner does go down to second, but don't think that the chess match on the base paths ends with that, as there's always the potential of a pickoff throw at second base still. And we have seen some aggressive base runners go for third in various games. That one comes in high, does not break, ball 3. And that one's going to miss, ball 4. So White Draws the game's first walk. Each of the first two hitters gets on for Framingham as they are threatening to score here in the first inning. Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Jace Coleman. Shows bunt and fouls it off. Coleman, his last time against Brookline, he was 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt that kept him from being 0 for 4. And you can see he was trying to lay down a sac bunt there to try and move the runners. And Hoffman steps off the mound to check on Oren at second. Does not throw, however. Shows bunt and tried to chase after the high pitch. Ends up fouling off the bunt attempt. Now an 0-2 count. So the bunt strategy kind of out the window at this point. Because if Coleman fouls off one more bunt, he will be out. Hits a grounder over to first, fielded by Rosenblatt. Flips it to Hoffman. He beat it out. Coleman dives in for the infield single. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for the Flyers. It was a bit of a slow roller. And I'm not sure if Hoffman realized quickly enough that he was going to have to cover first. I mean, initially that grounder looked like it had 3 unassisted written all over it. But then all of a sudden, Coleman hustling up the first base line, they had to change to trying for a 3-1 ground out, and they didn't make it in time. Bases loaded, nobody out. Now up the catcher, number 9, Lucas Messer. First pitch to him comes in low for ball 1. Hoffman's got to be careful about missing the strike zone because a walk here would bring in a run. Messer fouls that one off, strike 1. Messer had a very productive day his last time against Brookline, 2 for 2 with a double, 2 walks, a run scored, and an RBI. That one curves in for strike 2. 1-2 now the count. Chases that one low. He can't run on the third strike because first base is occupied. And that'll be strike 3. A big first out get for Hoffman as he caught Messer chasing on the low-dipping breaking ball. Now 1 out. Bases still loaded, and up comes the right fielder, number 7, Jackson Donato. First pitch comes in low, ball 1. Next one is high, ball 2. Donato last time against Brookline was 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. Now up with the bases loaded and 1 out. That one's going to be a high ball 3. And this is a tough situation for Hoffman. 1 more ball and Framingham will score on a bases loaded walk. So Donato probably, almost definitely not going to be swinging at this pitch. And Hoffman misses, and it is a bases-loaded walk for the Flyers as they take the 1-0 lead. Oren in to score. And now a meeting at the mound for Hoffman. Excuse me. Now batting for Framingham, the designated hitter, number 10, J.J. Blanchard. Still bases loaded, 1 out. But now Framingham already with the 1-0 lead as Hoffman briefly steps off the mound. First pitch, and he skies it deep out to left. Rosenblatt, he's got it for the out. The runners are going to tag. And 2 of them advance, and a run comes in on the sac fly. White in to score. And with 2 down, Framingham goes up 2-0. Now batting, the first baseman, number 3, Ian Zino. Excuse me. First pitch hits a chopper over to third, fielded by Hom, thrown to first, and it's there for out number 3. Brookline certainly was hoping for a grounder to the infield back when it was bases loaded, 1 out, and nobody had scored, but they did not get it. A bases loaded walk and a sac fly give Framingham the 2-0 lead after 1. Pardon me for that, folks. The allergens are out in force today. Jeremy Oren back on the hill for his second inning of work for Framingham, as for Brookline, up comes the designated hitter, number 22, Charlie Engelman. First pitch in there, strike 1. Engelman leading Brookline in slugging percentage this season at .471. Also the only Brookline player to hit a home run, but this time he hits a grounder over to second, fielded, thrown to first for out number 1. So 1 out, now up the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Melton with a slash line of 279, 483, 279 with 3 runs scored and a team-leading 12 RBI as he takes ball 1. This one hit, bounces off the hill. Diving catch made it short, but cannot get up in time to make the throw, and Melton will reach on what I think will be scored as an infield single. So 1 out and a runner on first as a courtesy runner comes in for Brookline's catcher, Melton. That courtesy runner will be number 12, Wally Lawrence. Coming up to the plate for Brookline, those are not boos, those are Hughes, as up now is the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. That pitch comes in low, well blocked by Messer. Ball 1. Bollinger's had a productive rookie campaign. Slash line 260, 275, 260, 5 steals, 7 runs, 8 RBI. As that one is low for ball 2. Just 1 walk on the season so far for the freshman. A very aggressive batter. But now he is staring down a 3-0 count. So he's not going to be swinging at this next pitch. And he takes that one for strike 1. Reaches out, hits it down the right field line, drops foul. You see what I mean about the aggressive swings? I mean, that almost looked like a defensive swing, but he wasn't at 2 strikes yet. He is now. But that just shows the more swing-first oriented mindset that Bollinger has at the plate as he now stares down a full count. Runner taking off. Bollinger hits a grounder right back to Oren, and he has to go to second. The hit and run does kind of pay off for Brookline as it prevents a potential inning-ending double play. Now coming to the plate, the third baseman, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch, fouls it out of play, strike 1. And you can see from the runs scored and RBI numbers at the bottom middle of your screen how productive Felix Hom was as a starter in the first half of the season. And then with his batting average and on-base numbers, you can see how tough that slump was that he hit in the second half of the season. As that one catches the zone, strike 2. Skies this one deep out to center. Center fielder going back, and he's under it for out number 3. So Brookline gets 1 runner on. Manages to get them down to second, but no further. We move to the bottom of the second now, with Framingham leading Brookline 2-0. Hoffman going back out on the hill after a rough first inning that featured 2 hits and 2 walks and 2 runs scored. It will, excuse me again. It will be the 8-9-1 hitters coming up for the Flyers, King, Moretti, and Oren. And so Framingham will start their second round through the batting order in just the second inning. And I see a question being asked and answered in the live chat. Yuli Burstein was asking, why is Framingham batting second if it is a home game? And Joe Campagna explaining, Framingham came to Brookline earlier, so they get to be the home team today, even though it's in Brookline. You know, the further explanation is that the earlier game was supposed to be in Framingham, but Framingham's field had suffered too much water damage and wasn't playable, so they played the game in Brookline back on April 6th. But this game, which had already originally been slated to be played here in Brookline at Parsons Field, and Brookline was like, hey, we got this nice college field we're going to be playing at. Would you guys be okay with coming down to Brookline, playing on this nice field, even and being the home team on the scoreboard, even though it wouldn't be in Framingham? And Framingham just said yes. At least that's the story as it's been told to me. Leading off now in the bottom of the second, the center fielder, number 5, Tyler King. Swing and a miss, strike one. Last time against Brookline, King was 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt as he takes strike two there. That pitch way high, ball one. That one got away from Hoffman, same as my tripod kind of got away from me because I bumped it with my hand. That one catches the low corner, strike three. Hoffman opens the second inning with a strikeout. And now one down. Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Anthony Moretti. First pitch high, ball one. Moretti last time against Brookline was 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Takes strike one there. 1-1 the count to Moretti with one out here in the bottom of the second. This one lifted out to right. Bollinger under it. Can of corn for out number 2. So 2 quick outs to start the inning. And this is what you want to see from your pitcher after a rough first inning, because one of the things about a baseball lineup is that eventually you do get down to the lower parts of the order, you know, where some of the, you know, I hate to use the phrase, but some of the weaker batters might be at the bottom of the order. And that can, if a pitcher can take advantage of that, it can be an opportunity for them to get their form back and get their confidence back after a shaky start. With 2 down and the bases empty, at the plate is the pitcher, number 1, Jeremy Oren. Led off the first inning with a single and came in to score the game's first run on a bases-loaded walk. Now staring down a 2-0 count after 2 high balls from Hoffman. Skies this one. Sawada backing up, and he's got it. Made him sweat on that pop-up a little bit, but Sawada does snag it. And Framingham is put down in order in the bottom of the second. So Hoffman rebounds nicely after a shaky first inning. And now it's up to the Brookline offense to try and get back in this game as they trail by 2. And for Brookline, it'll be their 8-9-1 hitters due up in the top of the third. Adam Rosenblatt, Ben Rosenblatt, and then back to the top of the order with Sawada. So a very similar layout to what Framingham sent against Hoffman in the bottom of the second with same 8-9-1 spots in the order. As Oren back on the hill. I neglected to mention this earlier, but Jeremy Oren actually was the starting pitcher for Framingham the last time these two teams faced off. In that game, Oren pitched 4 innings, gave up 1 unearned run on 2 hits and 2 walks with 2 strikeouts, but was pulled at the start of the 5th inning, and then after he got pulled, things kind of went sideways for Framingham. They immediately gave up 2 runs in the 5th inning, gave up a 4th run in the 6th inning to tie the game at 4, and then Brookline got the game-winning walk-off hit in the bottom of the 7th. So Oren pitched well, but his team could not finish after he was taken off the mound. Now leading off for Brookline here in the top of the third, the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt takes a low ball 1. One of the other reasons Rosenblatt starting today that I neglected to mention is an unfortunate reason, as this one comes in high for ball 2. And that unfortunate reason is, of course, the injury to Brookline's normal starting first baseman, James Dialchand Erickson, who I think suffered a shoulder injury when trying to dive back to first base on a pickoff attempt on Monday, as Rosenblatt lifts this one out to right over the right fielder's head. This will go for extra bases. Rosenblatt down to second, rounding second, going for third. It's going to be close. Rosenblatt dives in with a leadoff triple. How about Adam Rosenblatt with his first extra base hit of his high school varsity career? He had to hustle his way down for that one. And now his older brother with a chance to knock him in at the plate, the left fielder, number 18, Ben Rosenblatt, as he takes a high ball 1. Rosenblatt 1 for 6 so far this season with 1 walk, as he takes strike 1 there. Adam Rosenblatt standing at third with nobody out. That one catches the high corner, strike 2. Fouls that one off, and he stays alive at 1-2. Ben Rosenblatt in his last regular season game of his high school career with a chance to knock in his younger brother. As he lifts one, it's a blooper. Out to right, that's going to drop in. Adam Rosenblatt racing for home. And big brother has driven in little brother, and Brookline is on the board. You can see that one just in the perfect spot as Ben Rosenblatt drives in Adam Rosenblatt. And Brookline is on the board. Score now 2-1. Sawada lifts one out to left. That'll drop in for another single. 3 straight hits for the Warriors to start the top of the third. It is so interesting. The 8-9-1 hitters gave Hoffman a chance to, sort of refocus himself and get back his confidence. And the reverse is kind of happening for Oren here in the top of the third as the 8-9-1 hitters all getting on base for Brookline. Siegel lifts one high and deep out to left. Left fielder's back, and he's got it for out number 1. Rosenblatt thought about testing the left fielder, but going to third off a fly ball to left is hard. So that'll simply be out number 1. Now batting with 1 out and runners still at first and second, the shortstop, number 9, Elias Brendel. Brendel popped out short his last time up, but a base hit here could potentially score the tying run from second. Fouls that one off, strike 1. And he rockets one out to center, but it's right at the center fielder for out number 2, and the runners hold again. Back-to-back flyouts that cannot move the runners. And just like that, 2 out in the inning. Oren trying to get out of the early jam with just 1 run coming across. Now batting the designated hitter, number 22, Charlie Engelman. Engelman, his last time up, grounded out to second. First pitch, hard hit, up the middle, into center field. Rosenblatt rounding third, heading to the plate. He comes in to score, and we're tied. Huge hit for Charlie Engelman, as both the Rosenblatt brothers come in to score. Now with runners at the corners and 1 out, up comes the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Check swing foul, strike 1. Melton, his last time up, got a weird infield single, sent a grounder up the middle. Diving catch was made by the shortstop, but couldn't recover from the dive quick enough to make the throw to first. That one misses, ball 1. Engelman taking off for second. Melton takes strike 2, but Engelman does take second as they were too worried about Sawada at third. Melton, the team leader in RBI for Brookline, with a chance to knock in the go-ahead run here, but facing a 2-strike, 2-out situation, takes a brief timeout. Can he add to his team-leading RBI count here and give Brookline the lead? Fouls that one off and stays alive at 1-2. Sawada at third, Engelman at second. 2 down here in the top of the third, and we are tied at 2. Swing and a miss. Chased it to the outside, and he goes down on strikes. But Brookline, led by the Rosenblatt brothers, Adam and Ben, tie the score at 2 apiece in the top of the third. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Flyers against Hoffman here in the bottom of the third. White, Coleman, and Messer. Moving to the bottom of the third now. Leading off for Framingham, the third baseman, number 11, Robbie White. White drew a walk his last time up, later came in to score. That one hits the low corner, strike 1. This one drops low, and White checks his swing. A nice idea from Hoffman. Present him a similar looking pitch in a similar part of the plate, but this one with more break on it to see if he can get him chased low, but White did not fall for it. That time he goes high, and a little too high, ball 2. Oops. That one in the zone, strike 2. Two and two, the count to White. Chases that one low, strike 3. That time he did fool him on the low dipping breaking ball, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Jace Coleman. This one rocketed out to right center, chased down by Bollinger, and he holds him to a single. But Coleman gets on base with a 1-out hit. Now batting the catcher, Number 9, Lucas Messer. Throw back to first. And the runner gets back. Coleman at first, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. We're all tied at 2. This pitch fouled up the third baseline. Strike 1. This one fouled off, strike 2. Throw back to first, and that one was a little closer, but Coleman does get back safe. Runner still at first, 1 out, 0-2, the count to Messer. That one's high, runner with a bit of a delayed takeoff, but the throw got away. A diving backup play by Brendel. But Coleman does take second. It's a bit of a delayed takeoff, and that might have thrown off the timing of Melton's throw, which as a result might have just thrown off the throw completely. Oops. That pitch gets away, and the wild pitch is going to get Coleman down to third. 2-2, I believe, is the count to Messer. As there's now a runner at third with 1 out, representing the potential go-ahead run. That's a high ball 3. From 0-2 to 3-2. Hits this one at the shortstop. Brendel throws to first, gets him for the out, but Coleman does trot home off the RBI ground out by Messer. Smart play in that scenario to just go for the out. Could have been a very close, dicey play at the plate, trying to get the throw there in time and trying to get the tag. So they just go for the guaranteed out. 3-2 now the score. First pitch is in there for strike 1, as now up is the right fielder, number 7, Jackson Donato. Donato, his last time up, got the bases loaded walk that got the scoring started for Framingham, as that one skips in the turf for ball 1. Now up with the bases empty and 2 out here in the bottom of the third. It's a dribbler foul up the third base line. Strike 2. That one comes in low. Ball 2. That one in there, strike 3. At the end of 3, we got ourselves a bit of a back and forth going here at Parsons Field. Our score after 3, the Framingham Flyers 3, the Brookline Warriors 2. Brookline will be sending their 6, 7, 8 hitters to the plate, Bollinger, Hom, and Adam Rosenblatt. We saw some celebration last inning in the live chat from Cheryl Bollinger, saying, yeah, Charlie and yeah, Rosenblatt men, referring to that big rally that started with a leadoff triple by Adam Rosenblatt. And then Ben Rosenblatt, the older brother, driving in the younger brother on a bloop single to shallow right. Keenan Sawada followed that up with a single to left that put runners at first and second. And then 3 batters later with 2 outs, Charlie Engelman came through with a big game-tying single up the middle. Drove in Ben Rosenblatt. But now Framingham has retaken the lead on that RBI ground out by Lucas Messer after some aggressive base running from Jace Coleman, stealing second and going to third on a wild pitch before coming in on the ground out. So Jeremy Oren back on the mound with the lead to work with once again. Now batting for Brookline, the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Bollinger, his last time up, grounded out to the pitcher. Reaches out, hits one, but right at the first baseman. And it's caught by Zino for out number 1. Now batting, the third baseman, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch hits the zone, strike 1. Hom, his last time up, flew out to center field to end the top of the second. Tips that one, strike 2. That one skips in the turf, ball 1. That one catches the outside corner, strike 3. Hom down on strikes, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Now batting, the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. Last time up, Rosenblatt got that big leadoff triple and came in to score. Takes low ball 1 there. That one hits the zone, strike 1. That one skips in the turf, ball 2. This one fouled off, strike 2. 2-2, the count to Rosenblatt with 2 down and the bases empty here in the top of the 4th. And he lifts one out to center, and that's going to drop in front of the center fielder, Adam Rosenblatt, with his second hit of the day. Now batting, the left fielder, number 18, Ben Rosenblatt. That one hits the zone, strike 1. Last time up, Ben Rosenblatt got a bloop single to right to drive in Adam Rosenblatt. Throw back to first, and Adam Rosenblatt gets back safe. Hits a slow hopper up the third base side, picked up by White, thrown to first, missed! Rosenblatt reaches on the throwing error, and Adam Rosenblatt goes down to third. So now runners at the corners with 2 down. Brookline threatening to score as, again, the Rosenblatt brothers both get on base. Now up the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Sawada 1 for 2 so far today with a ground out and a single. Takes the first one high, ball 1. That one's high as well, ball 2. That one high as well, ball 3. Is the thing you got to be careful of when you're pitching to Sawada. He has a smaller strike zone than some other batters at this level. And sometimes that flusters pitchers. As Sawada gets a 4-pitch walk, 4 high balls. And Brookline has loaded the bases with 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Now batting, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a flyout, but a hit here could be huge. Hits a grounder, fielded at short, thrown to first, missed! 1 run is in, and Rosenblatt races around third. Both Rosenblatt brothers score. And Brookline takes the 4-3 lead. Siegel reaches on the E6. Adam and Ben Rosenblatt both in to score, as the brothers have scored all 4 of Brookline's runs so far today. Brookline now up 1, and Brendel lifts one out to left. Looks like it's going to be a can of corn, and it is. That will end the top of the 4th inning, but this back and forth contest continues, backing and forthing, as Brookline takes a 4-3 lead going into the bottom of the 4th. For Framingham, it will be the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Blanchard, Zino, and King due up. Same as the 6, 7, 8 hitters that were due up for Brookline in the top half of the inning. As through it all, these teams not only very close on the scoreboard, but very close in terms of their spot in their respective batting orders. Here we go, start at the bottom of the fourth. Hoffman back on the hill for Brookline, leading off for Framingham, the designated hitter number 10, J.J. Blanchard. Last time up, Blanchard got a sac fly to left, and whoa, what happened there? I think Hoffman just slipped off the mound. I don't know, maybe there was too much of that little turf, those little black things in the turf got on the mound, made it slippery. But he does throw the first pitch, and he gets strike one. This one fouled off his body, strike two. This one skips in the turf, ball one. That one high and away, ball two. 2-2, the count to Blanchard. And that one way high. A couple of these pitches just getting away from Hoffman. So a full count now to Blanchard. And that one comes in high for ball four. So from an 0-2 count to a walk. Now coming up, the first baseman, number 3, Ian Zino. Zino, his last time up, oh, excuse me, grounded out to third to end the first inning. First pitch, fouls it off, strike one. Oh. I'm sorry, I do beg your pardon. Like I said, the allergens are out in full force today. That one misses high, ball one. Runner at first, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. And a throw back to first. Almost got away, but Rosenblatt does keep it away from, keep it in play. As Blanchard dove back safe. Runner thought about taking off but stopped. It'll instead be a high ball two. And that might have almost takeoff but not quite, might have actually induced that high ball two. As you could hear someone from the Brookline side shouting runner once it looked like Blanchard was taking off for second. And again, pitchers like to throw high when they think a runner is going to steal. This one's a grounder up the middle, fielded by Sawada, flipped second for one, on to first for two. The 4-6-3 double play. So now with 2 outs and the base is empty, up comes the center fielder, number 5, Tyler King. King went down on strikes his last time up as he takes a very high ball one. This one fouled off, strike one. This one low for ball two. 2-1 the count to King. As he golfs this one deep out to left, Rosenblatt going back, Siegel going back, and Siegel's got it by the wall. Harrison Siegel chases it down to the warning track for out number 3. Boy, that's one of those balls where you're just thinking, if you're at a place with a shallower fence, that might have been out of here. We are through 4 here at Parsons Field. Our score after 4, Brookline 4, Framingham 3. And Brookline will be sending their 4, 5, 6 hitters to the plate in the top of the 5th, Engelman, Melton, and Bollinger. All right, top of the 5th, leading off for Brookline, the designated hitter, number 22, Charlie Engelman. First pitch fouled to the backstop, strike one. Engelman 1 for 2 so far today. He has grounded out to second and hit an RBI single. Hits a dribbler here right back to the pitcher who throws to first for out number 1. And I missed something I just realized. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for Framingham, and I didn't realize. Number 6, the shortstop, Jace Coleman, on the mound now as he takes over for Oren. Not sure if Oren took his place at short, as that first pitch is in for strike one. At the plate for Brookline now is the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Fouls that one off, strike two. No, looks like they've put number 21, Jack Maud, at short for Framingham, as that one is a high ball 1. That one curves in for strike 3. So Coleman working fast here in his first inning of relief. As now up comes the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. So Oren finishes the game having pitched 4 innings just like last time. This time he's given up 4 runs, 2 of them earned, and currently is the pitcher on credit for the loss, unless Framingham is at least able to tie it before the game ends. Bollinger with a 1-1 count. So far he has grounded out to the pitcher and lined out to first, as he takes that one high for ball 2. And a grounder up the middle, chased down by Maud, thrown to first, and that's good for out number 3. A well-placed grounder, but just a little too slow to get up the gap. And that will end the top of the 5th inning. During this break between the top and bottom half of the 5th, I'd like to take a moment and direct your attention to a helpful link in the description section of this video, as at the top of the description section you can find a link where you can donate money to the At Bat for Brookline Booster Club if you would like to support Brookline High Baseball financially. So be sure to check that out in the description section. Both teams making a pitching change here in the 5th inning. Taking over on the mound now for Brookline is number 22, Charlie Engelman. This is Engelman's first relief appearance of the season, as he has previously made 7 pitching appearances, all starts. Has a win-loss record of 3-3, has pitched 25 2/3 innings so far this season, has an ERA of 3.55, a WHIP of 1.56, and 16 strikeouts. So a bit of an anomalous appearance here for Charlie Engelman, his first time out of the bullpen this season. He has made bullpen appearances in previous years, but this is the first time this year, as they've been using him almost exclusively as a starter. But, I mean, there is projected to be a significant amount of time between now and the start of the postseason. So it's not like you're wasting an arm that you could be using come playoff time, because there's going to be a rest period before the playoffs anyhow. So it makes sense in a way. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters due up. So that normally would be Moretti, Oren, and White, but I don't know if there's going to be a new batter in place of Oren after he got taken off the mound. I'm not sure if he got put in the outfield somewhere. It was a bit hard to see, but we'll figure that out as we go. First pitch from Engelman is low for ball 1. At the plate for Framingham is the second baseman, number 2, Anthony Moretti. This one sliced foul for strike 1. That one comes in high for ball 2. Two and one, the count to Moretti. This one lined foul up the right field side, strike 2. Moretti, his last time up, flew out to right in the bottom of the second. Chases that one, caught him with the outside breaking ball, strike 3. And coming to the plate now will be number 1, Jeremy Oren. So I'm assuming they either put him in the outfield somewhere or they moved him to DH. Whatever the reason, he is back at the plate after being relieved on the mound in the top half of the inning. First pitch from Engelman hits the zone for strike 1. Oren 1 for 2 so far today with a single, a run scored, and a pop out to second. That one misses high, ball 1. This one's a grounder right back at Engelman. Underhands it to first for out number 2. Two down and nobody on as up comes the third baseman, number 11, Robbie White. First pitch in there, strike 1. White so far today 0 for 1 with a walk, a run scored, and a strikeout. As he takes that one low, ball 1. This one's a roller over to short, picked up by Brendel, pumped, and the throw just barely gets there in time for out number 3. Throw came a little late, but still gets there in time to get White, and Framingham goes down in order in the bottom of the 5th. Through 5, Brookline still on top. 4-3. During this break between the 5th and 6th innings, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And as always, you can find all that same information in the description section down below. But we start at the top of the 6th now. Leading off for Brookline is the third baseman, number 13, Felix Hom, as Coleman returns to the mound for another inning of relief work. Hom lifts one out to center. Oren is under it for out number 1. So center field is where Jeremy Oren is now, as Tyler King got moved to left, and the guy who was not in the batting order but just fielding, Nathan Levy, was subbed out. At the plate now is the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. That pitch misses for ball 1. Rosenblatt 2 for 2 so far today with a triple, a single, and 2 runs scored. As he sliced that one foul. Almost stayed playable, but at the last second bounced off the netting. And so it'll simply be a foul ball and strike 2. Rosenblatt lifts one out to left. Left fielder tried a sliding catch, couldn't make it. Rosenblatt is going to hold at first with his third hit of the day. Adam Rosenblatt having himself a day out here. 3 for 3 with a triple and 2 singles. And every time he's gotten on base so far today, he's come around to score. We'll see if that pattern holds here. Now batting the left fielder, number 18, Ben Rosenblatt. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. Ben Rosenblatt, 1 for 2 so far today with a single, a reach on error, 2 runs scored, and 1 RBI. Throw back to first, and Adam Rosenblatt dives back safely. And a timeout is called. That pitch misses ball 1. We've actually got a note in the live chat from some Framingham fans, from Mickey Murphy. Go Framingham Flyers, Moretti Fan Club from Los Angeles. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today, Mickey, as that's going to be a low ball 2. Like I always say, I don't care which team you're rooting for. I'm just happy to see fans bringing the positive vibes and supporting their team through these live streams. 2-1, the count to Ben Rosenblatt. That one comes in low, blocked well by Lucas Messer. And so it'll be a 3-1 count to Ben Rosenblatt. That one hits the zone, and we've got a full count now to Ben Rosenblatt. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So for the first time today, Ben Rosenblatt does not reach base. 2 down now with a runner at first, and up comes the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch is going to miss for ball 1. Sawada 1 for 2 so far today with a ground out, a single, and a walk. Hits one up the middle. That's his second hit of the day. And that puts runners at first and second with 2 down. Now coming up, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel 0 for 3 so far today, a strikeout, a flyout, and a reach on error. That reach on error was huge, as that is what brought in the most recent 2 runs from either side. That gave Brookline the 4-3 lead. Now up with a chance to potentially bring in another with Adam Rosenblatt in scoring position. That one comes in low, ball 1. That pitch misses high, ball 2. There's not been many games this season where Harrison Siegel has gone without a base hit. There's a reason he's leading the team in base hits this year with 21 so far. Could he add one here? Not on that pitch, strike 2. Two and two, the count to Siegel. 2 out, 2 runners on. Here in the top of the 6th in a 1-run ball game. Fouls that one off, stays alive at 2 and 2. That looked like kind of a fast delivery from Coleman there after getting set. I think he was trying to throw off Siegel with that one. That one curves in, strike 3. Coleman escapes the jam and keeps it a 1-run ball game as we move now to the bottom of the 6th. Engelman returning to the mound for his second inning of relief work. He'll be facing the 3, 4, 5 hitters. Coleman, Messer, and Donato. Barbara Joe Metzger in the live chat saying Keenan Sawada's Uncle Mike is watching as well, says go Keenan and go Warriors. Exciting game, and it has been quite the exciting matchup as these two local Bay State Conference opponents have been going back and forth. It's interesting when you contrast this with the last time they faced off, because the last time they faced off, Framingham jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and then Brookline just chipped away at that lead for the rest of the game until they ultimately tied it and then won it in the last inning. This game has been a lot more back and forth. We saw Framingham go up 2-0. We saw Brookline come back and tie it 2-2. We saw Framingham go up 3-2. And then we saw Brookline come back and take the lead 4-3. Both contests thrilling in their own rights, but sort of interesting to compare and contrast the two. Both close games, both thrillers, both roughly the same number of runs, but different location, very different weather, and a very different rhythm in terms of who is scoring when. Leading off for Framingham here in the bottom of the sixth, the pitcher, number 6, Jace Coleman. First pitch, rockets one out to center, but it's right at Siegel for out number 1. It was one of those plays that, you know, as the hitter's coach, you think good contact, just not in the right spot. One down to start the bottom of the sixth. Now up the catcher, number 9, Lucas Messer. First pitch curves in, strike 1. Messer, so far today, he has struck out, hit an RBI ground out. 0 for 2 with an RBI as he takes ball 1 there. This one fouled off, strike 2. That one just misses ball 2. Ooh, did he go around? They say yes. Messer gets the strikeout on the low breaking ball. 2 down now in the bottom of the sixth. Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Jackson Donato. Donato, so far today, he has gotten a bases-loaded walk and a strikeout. Hits a grounder here right over to Brendel. Fielded cleanly, thrown to first. Got him for out number 3. Engelman cruising so far through his first 2 innings of relief. 6 up and 6 down for the Brookline reliever. And we now move to the final inning of regulation with the top of the 7th inning. Our score after 6, Brookline 4, Framingham 3. It'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Brendel, Engelman, and Melton, who will be facing Coleman as he returns to the mound for another inning of relief work. Leading off here in the top of the 7th inning, The shortstop, number 9, Elias Brendel. First pitch, he lifts it deep out to right, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Elias Brendel leading off with an extra base hit, and he is going to try for 3. Elias Brendel with a leadoff triple. Brookline's second triple to right in one game, as they've been lifting that ball deep out to right. Now batting, the pitcher, number 22, Charlie Engelman. First pitch, he skies it foul and out of play. Engelman trying to add to his own cause here, as he's hoping to finish the game with the save. Hits a chopper here. The infielders pulled in, and they hold Brendel at third on the 6-3 ground out. And whenever you see infielders pulled in on the infield grass, or in this case on the shallower end of the turf, because it's all just different colored turf, whenever you see that, that right there is the reason why. If a fielder's got to charge in for that, then a runner is more likely to take off for home and potentially score. Oh and 1 the count now after that first pitch strike. At the plate is the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton, as he takes low ball 1 there. Blocked well again by Lucas Messer, as his job becomes much more important now with a runner at third. That one comes in high, ball 2. Melton 1 for 3 so far today with an infield single and 2 strikeouts. Reaches out, lifts that one foul, strike 2. 2-2 the count with 1 down and a runner at third here in the top of the 7th. Skies another one foul and out of play and stays alive at 2-2. And he skies one, gonna stay in the infield, and second baseman under it for out number 2. So despite the leadoff triple, Brookline hasn't been able to get any kind of contact that can advance the runner from third. Now the last chance to try and bring that runner in for an insurance run. Up comes the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger, as he takes a high ball 1. Bollinger 0 for 3 so far today with 2 groundouts and a lineout. Hits a dribbler foul at the third base line, and kind of a nifty dodge out of the way by Brendel there. Technically speaking, if that ball had hit him, I think he would have been out. I mean, I don't know if the same rule applies if it had already been ruled a foul ball. But either way, it's a 1-1 count to Bollinger. Bollinger rips one deep out to right. Right fielder going back, and he's got it. Caught this time for the third out of the inning, and once again, Coleman gets out of the jam. Brookline has gotten a runner in scoring position each of the last 2 innings, but unable to bring any of them in. And the last game of the regular season comes down to this. Bottom of the 7th, Brookline up 4-3. And Charlie Engelman back on the mound trying to shut the door here. He will be facing the 6, 7, 8 hitters Blanchard, Zino, and King. And I just got to say, what a strong relief outing from Jace Coleman. 3 shutout innings of relief, even after giving up a leadoff triple to start the top of the 7th. And without even getting a strikeout, induced 2 bits of weak contact that held the runner at third. And then once Brookline finally got a ball to the outfield like they needed, it was too late, and it was the third out. All right, here we go. Start of the bottom of the 7th. Leading off for Framingham, the designated hitter, number 10, J.J. Blanchard. Blanchard is 0 for 0 so far today with a sac fly and a walk. So 2 plate appearances, but no at-bats yet as he takes strike 1 there. Swing and a miss there. Might have got a piece of it. Okay, there's a brief heart attack. That's all I needed. It looks like that disconnect was brief, but all we missed was Blanchard foul tipped 1 for strike 2, 0-2 the count. Just high, ball 1. Chases it low, strike 3. Engelman gets the first out of the inning. Now batting the first baseman, number 3, Ian Zino. Zino 0 for 2 so far today. He's grounded out to third and then grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. First pitch misses high and away, ball 1. This one's a grounder over to Sawada, fielded cleanly, thrown to first, and that is out number 2. Brookline 1 out away from ending their regular season on a high note and potentially vaulting themselves into the top 32, which would guarantee them a home playoff game in the preliminary round. But first, they still have one more out to get. At the plate, the left fielder, number 5, Tyler King, and he swings and misses at the first one. King, so far today, he has struck out and flown out to center. That one skips in the turf, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Strike two, and the Flyers are down to their final strike. This one fouled off out of play, and King stays alive. This game still is not over. One run separates these two Bay State Conference opponents here in the regular season finale. And one strike separates Brookline from victory. Doesn't bite on the low breaking ball, ball two. Strike three. Brookline wins. Charlie Engelman gets it done in his first stint out of the bullpen this season. 3 shutout innings of relief to earn the save. The final score here at Parsons Field: the Brookline Warriors 4, the Framingham Flyers 3. Owen Hoffman gets the win on the mound after pitching the requisite 4 innings for a starter and leaving the game with the lead. Charlie Engelman, having protected a narrow enough lead and also having pitched 3 innings of relief, both conditions alone would have qualified him for his first save of the season, and his first career save at that. A stellar performance out of the pen by the senior co-captain in the last regular season game of his high school career. And what a day for a number of different players. A great day for some of the seniors. Ben Rosenblatt, in his last career regular season game, he gets an RBI single, driving in his younger brother Adam. And Ben himself got to come in to score twice throughout the game. Charlie Engelman, before getting the save, also got an RBI single of his own. Harrison Siegel may not have had a hit today, but his reach on error brought in the 2 runs Brookline needed to take the lead, which they would never relinquish. Adam Rosenblatt, in his first start at first base in a long time, in relief of the injured James D'Alchand Erickson, he had himself a day at the plate. 3 for 3 with a triple and 2 singles, and 2 runs scored. So with this win, Brookline finishes the season with a record of 11-9, while Framingham's record falls to 9-11. And we will see after this week is over, we'll see probably sometime this weekend what the final power rankings look like. Brookline is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs as they clinch their first winning season since 2019. But whether or not they will host a playoff game is going to depend on those power rankings. If Brookline moves up so much as 1 spot from where they were in the power rankings that came out yesterday, if this win moves them up just 1 spot up to 32nd, then Brookline would host a playoff game in the preliminary round. So we'll see how that shakes out. And for Framingham, we'll see how it shakes out, as they also have some questions. Having finished with a losing record, they need to finish in the top 32 of the power rankings. They were 29th coming into this game after the power rankings that came out yesterday. So if this loss drops them below the top 32, that would drop them out of the playoffs entirely. So we'll see how that shakes out. Keep your eyes peeled this weekend for those updated MIAA power rankings. And hope to see you guys in the playoffs. But for now, thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This may be the end of the regular season for Brookline High Baseball, but first off, playoffs just around the corner. And second off, there are some other Brookline High teams that aren't quite finished with their regular season just yet. I'm going to be covering Brookline High boys volleyball over the next 2 days. On the road tomorrow at Framingham, and then on Friday at Lincoln Sudbury. So be sure to stay tuned for those. Subscribe to the channel can help. Thank you to all the fans who participated in the live chat today. If there's anything that anyone would like to say after this live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to go down below to the description section of this video where you can find some helpful links, a link where you can donate to the At Bat for Brookline Booster Club, a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation, and some links related to me that you can see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or you can skip past all that and just check out my email right below it if you would just like to contact me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams and the links for upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. Brookline 4, Framingham 3 from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.